Hi, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Mike Barron, Las Vegas, Nevada, and my special guest today on this Friday is Marina Seren, all the way from Madrid, Spain, the capital of Spain, right? It's the capital, isn't it?
It is the
Madrid
capital.
is the capital, center of the world in Europe for many, many years. Um, the people who brought you the Spanish Armada, which sank to the bottom of the English Channel, unfortunately, when that happened. But anyway, Marina, thanks for being here. We're here to talk this weekend. We're here to talk today about upcoming weekends in Sholo, Arizona, the Disclosure Experience 2025 weekends. And you and me are going to be there in June. Wow, it would really help if I actually had that link up there, wouldn't it? If we could pull that thing together. The 1028 Productions. Let me just get this going here. I would, of course, that's I'm totally prepared at all times, Marina, to do this show. All right, let's share that. And so we are going to do a weekend. I'm going to be there May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th with Laura Eisenhower and John D'Souza and Tom Reed. And then I'm also going to be there with another crew, Brooks Agnew, whose information I just gave you is going to be there, and me and JJ Ainsworth, who talks about megaliths and large structures like that kind of thing. And it's not showing. Why is it not showing? And you are going to be there June 6th, 7th, and 8th. Why am I not seeing? God, I hate using Zoom, Marina. I really do. I wish I was just live streaming, but okay. Well, anyway, let's talk about it. I'll show the screen later. Fuck. Um, okay, how are you? How's Madrid? And is it warm there yet? Because it's just starting to get warm here in Las Vegas. It was in the 80s Fahrenheit. How's it there?
Oh, interesting. It's not warm at all here in Spain. It's actually becoming cooler as we go forward into the month of March. So,
Okay,
lots of
interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be in the 90s in April, and it'll be in the hundreds by the time you get here in June. So Marina and I are going to be there June 6th, 7th, and 8th in Sholo, Arizona. This is an interesting show. It's a very different kind of conference. Marina, this is your American debut, right? Coming to the USA, your first time, right?
Absolutely. It's my first time in America, so it's going to be a very special time.
So, yes, so an American virgin, guys. She's
Yes.
we'll use that phraseology. So yeah, it's going to be great, and these weekends are different than most others because, guys, it's 3 days. We have a Friday sort of meet and greet thing, and then it's Saturday, and all day Sunday.
One thing, we're still screen sharing, just so that you know.
What's that? We're still screen sharing. Okay. Stop.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. All right. So yeah, I can't see it. It's like it's weird. It's not showing me what's actually. I only see you. So that's weird. But at any rate, these weekends are going to be kind of unique because they're not going to be a conference where you come in, you do an hour, they kick you off, they bring in somebody else, people sort of mill around, maybe come to your table, ask you to sign a book if you have a book, that kind of thing. It's going to be a much more interactive experience, and it's going to be kind of an all day thing. Scheduled for Fridays are like we have a VIP meet and greet. And then, well, everybody's a VIP. There's only 20 slots for each weekend. And then it's an all day Saturday and all day Sunday thing. And there's going to be panels. And I think you and I will probably sit for an interview. I know the first initial interview we did way back about 4 or 5 months ago, has been very popular on my Rumble channel and on YouTube. And, I think we'll sit down and I'll just sort of pick your brain about all of your experiences and the things that you like to talk about and that you're interested in. But the nice thing about this is that while it's a more expensive weekend and there's only a few people there, you get exclusive access to everyone who's going to be there, and everything is included except your travel. There's a hotel included. There's all your food is included, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's bus transportation back and forth between the hotel and the ranch where the events are being held. And the best part, an open bar. So you're going to have this plenty of alcohol, booze to make everything go down. There's going to be Saturday night and Sunday night dance parties. We're probably going to do a sky watch. We're trying to get our hands on some night vision equipment so we can do a little sky watch, and then I can tell you everything that you're looking at in the sky, and Marina can tell you if they're aliens or not. So, Marina, when I guess what I want to get to you with is what are the kind of things you're going to be talking about? I assume you have a couple of presentations you've done before, but if not, you should get one or two ready. We're going to sit on panels. We're going to have crosstalk discussions about all the different things that we know, because this is a good one, because you've got Brooks, who's really into basic science and the inner earth civilizations and all that stuff, which I've never asked you about, I don't think. JJ is into megalithic structures and how they might be related to the alien presence on Earth. And I kind of do everything. And you're an experiencer um, of the secret space program. So why don't you give us a preview of what you're going to be talking about and the kind of things you'd like people to know about you that they don't know.
Sure. So I am an experiencer of many kinds. I'll have both positive and negative experiences as anybody. And of course, what I'm gonna share it's most of the programs that I've been participating, but also retrieving a lot of memories from. In my case, I'm a survivor of the MK Ultra project, Monarch project specifically. I've been part of the Super Soldier program training in the Secret Space program, the Dark Fleet specifically, but not only dark groups within the SSP. I've also co-created and had many experiences and collaborations with groups, factions within that program that are not negative oriented, that are neutral or even positive oriented, and working with the Alliance. And then I also have plenty other experiences that involve hybrid alien agendas, in which I was taking genetic material form, and not just the Greys, but also humanoids. And now that's a more negative kind of, narrative, but I do have a lot of information that I think it's very important to share and to expose and disclose in these years in the whole, let's say, new age ufology communities. And I also have a lot of information about metaphysics. That's actually what I am an expert in. Or at, sorry. I am is enrolled into physics, so I know a lot about the basics, but all of my metaphysical knowledge comes mostly from my Kundalini activation back in 2015 to 2023 approximately. I had very major channelings going on, and not just channelings or activations, but rather ET contact experiences. And that's other aspect that I would like to bring into my presentations, the aspect of exopolitics and Earth history, because there is a lot of misinformation going on right now.
Yeah,
And I
and
do
we can debate some of that Earth history. And JJ will have some interesting things to say about what the stone structures say and things like that. So that'll be make for really interesting stuff. So Super Soldier, huh? Can you beat me at arm wrestling? Do you think? Should
I'm
we?
not sure. I used to be like the strongest in
Those
my
are
class
you're
before.
stronger than you look. Yeah,
Okay,
those are
yes.
some pretty skinny little arms you got there, girl. So
Yeah, yeah, I know, but it's strong. It's not that.
okay. Not to tease you or anything, but hey, that's the thing is that where we may align is where I kind of understand higher dimensional physics, I think, really well, based on the monuments of Mars and other things like that have been sort of decoded. It'll be really interesting to see what you know and how it aligns with what I think I know. And we'll see if there's a balance there, or if there's a new mysteries and paths we can open up to discuss with people. So that's one of the things you mentioned is really important, I think, to me, because you talk about things that others in the UFO community don't like to talk about and don't want to talk about, which is sort of the negative aspects of this ET thing and of contact. I mean, you said you kind of awakened in 2015. If I'm not mistaken, you would have only been about 15 years old then, right? 14 or 15. So you're just a young girl, you're just a teenager, and you start having this flood of experiences. What does that do to somebody at your age? I mean, I assume before that you were just living your normal teenage Spanish girl life in Madrid, right?
Absolutely. I was having my normal life in high school and I had my friends, my group of friends. I was not having any sort of paranormal activity in my life and everything. My belief system was as normal as anybody else. And then, my Kundalini awakening started. I started getting visited by ETs and EDs. Surprisingly, it was not that weird from my part. It didn't came across as strange or shocking as much because part of my consciousness recognized it as familiar, as home, right? So I didn't have such a negative experience when that happened, when that transition was going on. But yeah, it was abrupt, it was not a process that was slowly unfolding, but rather boom, just like that.
So
Just
even so even consciously, you weren't necessarily terrified when you started seeing ETs and things like that. It wasn't all that scary because there was something comfortable about it. That's bizarre. Wow.
yeah, consciousness kind of like one of like, oh yeah, they do exist. I knew it did, it was like that. Or I will get visited by black helicopters, and when I will stare at them, I'll be like, I know they know about me and they know about what's going to happen to me. I cannot still describe it, but I know what it is about
Yeah.
intuitively. And then
Yeah.
it happens.
Interesting. So, now there's a lot of people in this community that let's be honest, some of them are not in this for the truth. Some of them are in this for the money. Some of them are in this for darker agendas. They've been co-opted by what you like to call some of the dark entities that are out there that are pushing their own agendas on planet Earth. And you're going to be talking on this weekend. I assume you're going to be naming a few names and talking about some people that maybe in general that you would like to see people stay away from. And I don't expect you to name any names right now, but I'm just kind of asking, you're going to talk about some of those kinds of experiences as well, right? Because you've been sort of exploited by some people in this community.
Effectively, yes. One of the things that I realized is that when I was being MK Ultra activated, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
there were groups that were utilizing those programs to use me as a Trojan horse for specific narratives to be propagandized in the New Age community that nobody by then believed to be negative oriented or able to get to that point of using mind control in order to impose their narrative in these communities. So yes, is that shocking that they were deep state connected, but many of us intuitively knew it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I've never trusted in this movement, and again, so I'm attracted to people who are interested in the truth and want to get the truth out, and that's one of the reasons why I sort of when I heard your information, I was like, well, I think that this girl's got something going, and now before again, I don't want to give away everything we're going to talk about at the Disclosure Experience weekend, which is June 6th, 7th, and 8th with me and Marina and JJ Ainsworth and Dr. Brooks Agnew. But you're kind of talk about how there are not all beings are the same, right? Everybody has this assumption that all the grays are bad, all the reptilians are bad. But one of your experiences is that there's good reptilians and bad reptilians. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. When it comes to ETs, it goes very much more complex than we expect it to be. We're talking about that the difference is not just in the morphologic structure, but rather in the consciousness, the state of consciousness, evolution, the brain structure. So the way that they interpret reality is going to be completely different from us. So yes, they still navigate through this dualistic plane of polarity of polarity consciousness the same way as we do because that's a universal law. It's part of the structure of existence. So yes, they can take roles of either service to others or service to self, but
Mm-hmm.
still, the way that they interpret it or they explore that, it's very alien, very different from us. So there's a lot of tones or shades of gray, not pun not intended there,
No, yeah, yeah.
within the conscious collective of all these different beings.
Yeah, interesting. You would say that. Do you think? Do you think that aliens believe that physical structures of bodies change your spiritual orientation, your perspective, or dictate them? In other words, do they think that DNA, by mixing our DNA with theirs, that they can become more connected to God or source or whatever you want to call it? Like I've always felt about the Greys that, I think every species chooses a path to God.
Mhm.
Let's call it God. That's what I like to call it. Path back home, back where we're supposed to go. And human beings chose free will, and Greys, I think, chose my experiences. They chose intellect, and it's kind of a dead end. So, are they now thinking that they can take our DNA and actually change their spiritual orientation? Is that what some of this stuff is about?
Yes, absolutely. The Greys are one of the multiple probable timelines for humanity in the future, and they obviously decided to cut up their connection to source by deleting every single development of the emotional body, which is an innate element, fundamental element of what makes us human. And so by disconnecting to their emotional body, their sexuality, which is creator energy, etc., all of the other aspects of intelligence were shut down to the point in which they only will develop in the mental plane, which is just psychic abilities, intellect, knowledge, but not true deep knowledge, rather just intelligence and information, data. So, yeah, you will interpret them or you will perceive them to be as highly psychic, very quite kind of like very mastered in the within the lower fourth density realm that
Mm-hmm.
involves the astral world, but not very worked into the lower chakras, vital energy, and emotional bodies at all. So it's very, when you get attacked by a grave, for example, you feel the interference in your head, in your
Yeah.
third chakra, but you do not feel a lot of vital energy. When you get attacked by a reptilian, for example, they project a lot of that from the lower chakra, so you feel intimidated. It's a different kind of energy. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, to sum it up, they really did connect to that relationship to creator energy and thus to nature, to God, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And they degenerated. They are completely dysgenic.
I I don't see, yeah, I don't without love, I don't see how your soul can progress. I don't think there's any. I think you reach a dead end and you just become nothing, and you'll eventually evaporate into the mists of of whatever this universe is, physical and spiritual energy. So that's a tragic mistake on their part, I think. But it's what a lot of other people have talked about, and that it's all intellect and they're telepathic and they have all this stuff, but there's no feeling there, and without love, without you know the sexual connection between a man and a woman, between two human beings, there has that grows them together. It grows both of them separately and it grows them together, and without that kind of connection, with that complete disassociation from anything that we would recognize as love, I think that they end up at a complete dead end. And so this is just kind of example, folks, of what the kinds of discussions we're going to have this weekend, June 6th, 7th, and 8th. The website is Disclosure Experience 2025, or you can go to 1028 Productions and get tickets to this event. There are only 20 spots in the weekend we're going to be there. Marina, I just wanted to kind of do this preview with you. I don't want to, I don't want you to give away all your secrets and everything that you're going to talk about, but yeah, I just got to say it's really fun to talk to you about this stuff because nobody else talks at this level really like you do, about these kinds of things, and nobody talks about the spiritual connections to the alien experience, which I give you a lot of credit for, and that's why I think your information is going to be fascinating to a lot of people. So get on over to the website, get signed up. Like I said, it's an all-inclusive weekend, except for your travel. You just got to figure out how to get to show low. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to do, like I said, night watches, barbecues. By the way, Marina, you did say that one of the foods you wanted to try over here was ribs, right? Like American barbecue ribs. So I have arranged for a food truck that's supposed to be the best barbecue ribs in Sholo for one of the nights, at least Saturday. So you realize when you eat ribs, you get barbecue all over your
Yeah,
face.
all over the face.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm going to get pictures of that to put on the internet and make fun of you. So there you go. But I did. You better be appreciative of that. Is all I'm saying. I got the best barbecue, and there is barbecue ribs in your future, Maria. I will just tell you that.
Oh, wow.
Are you excited? Yeah, along with lots of vodka. Anyway, we're going to have a great time this weekend, guys. I really want you to get signed up. Marina, thank you for being with me here today. And get over to the website, get signed up. There'll be a link in the description on these videos to all this stuff. Any other final thoughts or anything you want to leave people with to encourage them to sign up and come out for this great weekend at the Disclosure Experience 2025?
Sure. If you want a combination of a lot of very intense metaphysical knowledge, plus a lot of very deep state um geopolitical information,
And financial, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
I imagine you to come in because there are a lot of things that I will not say or I will not put out in the internet, in YouTube, but I am completely fine with saying in person.
Right. And we are going to record this, but we will edit that out of the recording. So, yeah, no, you can definitely. I mean, we do plan on recording this, and also, guys, I think we'll be doing some live streams from there. So we will maybe do a live stream question and answer later on. If we sell the event out and you can't come, then we'll probably do a live stream thing where you can.
Yes, I have another thing I have to say.
Yes, go ahead.
For all the people that were saying since the beginning of the my coming out of my um
Coming into stepping into the public eye, right? Yes.
public to share my experiences, that you were claiming and you're accusing me of having fake eyes and using filters. You're gonna see in person how they are really like that, truly like that.
Wow.
It was, I had to share this because it was impressive that when I went to Barcelona to a UFO conference,
Yeah.
I had some comments of people saying, that's a filter, that's not true, that's not real. And then I had people coming in Barcelona and saying, we thought that you were not real, that your eyes were a filter. And I was like,
I don't think so.
you
So
know.
yes, so you can see Marina's eyes in person. They are really, really her eyes. Let's see if I can let's maximize you here. They are really her eyes. And are they brown? Are you brown-eyed? I thought they were blue.
Real eyes are brown.
Wow. Wow. And yeah, and the other thing too is I think you're going to discover Marina doesn't need a filter to look good. So that'll be fun. Well, we're gonna have a great time. I'm looking forward to you coming and being at the show. And I'm hoping that we will have sort of a definitive experience, not just with you, but with JJ and with Brooks. There's so much truth that we can uncover this weekend that's coming up. Again, June 6th, 7th, and 8th. Please sign up. It's you guys, believe me, you're going to get your money's worth out of this, and you're going to have a lot of fun, and you're going to get to know us all on a more direct, personal level, which is really cool for you. Maybe not for us, but for you, for sure. So, all right, Marina, thank you. I know it's late back in Madrid, and I'm going to let you go. So, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Marina, for being here. Thank you guys for watching the video, and we'll get it posted very, very soon. Thanks. Say goodbye, Marina.
Goodbye. I hope to see you there.